Most powerful nations on Earth looked at it and said, "We want it." Spain came, America came, Japan came. Every single one of them treated this land like it was theirs to take. They ruled here, they killed here, they burned here, but the people of this land, they never surrendered, not once, day. We are going to travel through centuries of pain. 500 years, 1,000 years, try 47,000 years. That is right. Human bones discovered in Palawan Island have been dated back nearly 47,000 years. Everything. His name was Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, sailing for Spain. He was on a mission to circumnavigate the entire globe. This was going to be easy. He thought he could walk into any island, plant the Spanish flag, and call it a day. But then, there was one man who refused. His name was Lapu-Lapu, chief of Mactan Island. No Spanish flag, no surrender. Magellan was furious. On April 27, 1521, he led his soldiers onto Mactan Island to force Lapu-Lapu into submission. It did not go the way he planned. Lapu-Lapu and his warriors were ready. They fought back with everything they had. And by the end of that battle, Ferdinand Magellan, the man who had sailed halfway around the world, was dead. Imagine a land scattered across more than 7,000 islands, so beautiful, so rich, so full of life, that the most powerful nations on Earth looked at it and said, "We want it." Spain came, America came, Japan came. Every single one of them treated this land like it was theirs to take. They ruled here, they killed here, they burned here, but the people of this land, they never surrendered, not once, day. We are going to travel through centuries of pain, resistance, and survival. This is the story of a nation that was sold, bombed, and occupied, and still came out standing. This is the history of the Philippines. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now. Because on this channel we tell the stories that most history books are afraid to tell. Before we get into the wars, the colonizers, the bloodshed, let me ask you something. How old do you think the Philippines actually is? 500 years, 1,000 years, try 47,000 years. That is right. Human bones discovered in Palawan Island have been dated back nearly 47,000 years. 47,000 years of human life on these islands before anyone even thought about colonizing them. The first people here were the Negrito tribes. Small in size, incredibly tough, masters of the jungle. Then came waves of Austronesian migrants sailing from Taiwan, open oceans in wooden boats with no GPS, no maps. Just the stars above them and courage inside them. These were not primitive people. They had trade routes. They traded with China, with India, with Arab merchants. They had their own kings, called Rajas, their own laws, their own written language. Their communities were called barangays. Each barangay was like its own small world led by a chief called a dato, with warriors, farmers, and traders all living together. No single empire, no one ruler over everyone, just thousands of communities living their own lives on their own islands. And they were honestly doing fine, until the year 1521, when a man arrived on a ship and changed everything. His name was Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, sailing for Spain. He was on a mission to circumnavigate the entire globe. And somewhere in the middle of that journey he found the Philippines. March 1521, Magellan landed on Cebu Island. He met the local Raja Humabon, and Humabon surprisingly welcomed him. Magellan thought this was going to be easy. He thought he could walk into any island, plant the Spanish flag, and call it a day. But then, there was one man who refused. His name was Lapu-Lapu, chief of Mactan Island. No Spanish flag, no surrender. Magellan was furious. On April 27, 1521, he led his soldiers onto Mactan Island to force Lapu-Lapu into submission. It did not go the way he planned. Lapu-Lapu and his warriors were ready. They fought back with everything they had. And by the end of that battle, Ferdinand Magellan, the man who had sailed halfway around the world, was dead. Killed on a small island by a man most of the world has never heard of. Lapu-Lapu today stands as the Philippines' first national hero. The first man to ever say no to a European colonizer. But Spain was not done, not even close. 1565, a Spanish expedition led by Miguel López de Legazpi arrived with 500 soldiers. This time Spain had a proper plan. They took Cebu, then they marched to Manila in 1571. And slowly island by island the Philippines fell under Spanish control. They named it Las Islas Filipinas, after King Philip II of Spain. The Filipino people had no say in this name. They had no say in anything anymore. Spain brought Christianity and used it as a weapon of control. Convert or face consequences. They brought the encomienda system, which basically meant local Filipinos had to work for Spanish landlords, pay taxes, bow their heads. It was not officially called slavery, but it felt exactly like it. And this went on for 333 years. 333 years. Let that number sit with you for a moment. But even in those 333 years of darkness, one man stood up. His name was José Rizal, a doctor, a writer, a poet, a genius. He did not pick up a sword against Spain. He picked up a pen. He wrote novels that exposed Spanish cruelty so clearly, so painfully, that Spain felt threatened by a man who never fired a single bullet. And on December 30th, 1896, at just 35 years old age, José Rizal was executed. Spain thought killing him would silence the revolution. Instead, it lit the fire that could never be put out. Quick question for you: did you know Spain ruled the Philippines for 333 years? Drop a comment and tell me what you think about that. 1898, Spain and America went to war. It was called the Spanish-American War. America won. And in the peace deal that followed the Treaty of Paris, Spain handed over the Philippines to the United States. The price? $20 million. That is what an entire nation was worth to them. $20 million. Nobody asked the Filipino people. Nobody consulted them. Nobody gave them a choice. They were simply transferred like property. The Filipino people had literally just fought for their freedom from Spain. And now they found out they had been sold to someone else. They were furious. The Philippine-American War began, and it was brutal. Estimates suggest that between 200,000 and 750,000 Filipino civilians died during this war. It is one of the most forgotten wars in American history. But the Filipino people never forgot. America did build schools, taught English, set up democratic institutions, but ultimate power stayed in American hands. Freedom was promised, but freedom always came with conditions. December 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and within hours, Japanese forces invaded the Philippines too. Manila fell, and what happened over the next few years was the darkest chapter in Philippine history. The Bataan Death March. 75,000 Filipino and American soldiers were forced to march over 60 miles in brutal heat. No food, no water, no mercy. Soldiers who collapsed were killed on the spot. Thousands died during that march alone. American General Douglas MacArthur was forced to retreat. But as he left, he made a promise. 3 words: "I shall return." And in 1944 he did. But by the time liberation came, the Philippines had paid an unimaginable price in blood. World War II ended, Japan surrendered, and America finally kept its promise. On July 4, 1946, the Philippines became an independent nation. After 333 years of Spain, then America, then Japan. Finally, their own flag, their own government, their own future. But freedom did not mean peace came automatically. In 1970, Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law. One man, total power, 14 years of dictatorship. Thousands of people disappeared. Thousands were tortured. But then, 1986, the People Power Revolution. Millions of ordinary Filipinos flooded the streets of Manila. No weapons, no army. Just people standing together, refusing to be ruled by fear anymore. And it worked. Marcos fled the country. The people had won. And that is where we end today's story. I truly hope you enjoyed it. Because this is exactly what this channel is all about. Bringing you the most powerful, most fascinating stories from around the world. So that you never have to go anywhere to learn. Whether you are sitting at home at your office on your lunch break, you can travel through history right here with us. If this story moved you, if it taught you something new, please give this video a like. It genuinely helps more than you know. Share it with someone who loves history. And if you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now, because on this channel, we are committed to bringing you knowledge. Every single week from every corner of this world. The world is full of incredible stories. And we are just getting started. Take care. And I will see you in the next one.